As you all know, it is Full Send Friday. We are doing another mod to the bike. So first off, let me say thank you to all the people who have been watching the Supermoto build series. I hope you guys have been liking these videos because they've been really fun to make and I love how my bike looks. So it's kind of a win-win. Today's just a minor mod on my bike, and what I'm going to be doing is simply just swapping out these handlebars because I hate the 7/8 bars. I don't like how they look. They just look kind of weak, and mine have some surface rust on it from when I first got my bike. So that was kind of something always on the checklist for my bike. I went to RockyMountainATV.com. They don't sponsor me. Thank you guys. But I got some grips. We got some grip donuts. Who doesn't like donuts? And then we have an absolute magic trick of wrapping paper in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We have the Pro Taper contour bars with the CR high bend. These look amazing and I'm really stoked to get this on my bike. For all the people who don't know, let me tell you the difference between a 7/8 bar and a 1 1/8 bar. Essentially, you have, let me get closer. Essentially, these bars at the ends are gonna be identical, so don't worry about that if you are gonna change out the bars on your bike. But what's different is that instead of going on to 7/8 and then having like the bar that goes across, you know, the crossbar on that, I don't really like that look. It's just a fatty bar all the way through. So having that fatty bar just deletes having that crossbar up top. It just looks so much cleaner. And Pro Taper makes some really good stuff. Once again, not sponsored by Pro Taper, but I like your guys' stuff. So let me just open this up all the way. So I've been getting kind of sick because I've been traveling a lot. I just went to Washington to see my dad. That was a very cool trip, very relaxing. Oh dude, this is the good stuff. Look at that. These are so nice. And I like the bend. That's really cool. I was gonna, I asked you guys in my last video, I said I wanted to coat these and see what you guys, wanted to see with what color. Honestly, I like the color of this. It almost matches the color of my bike, like the frame and everything. So this is actually pretty freaking close. So we have these bars, and I almost forgot this part too. Universal bar clamps. So this is gonna allow me to put the bars on my bike. The reason being is, like I said, in the middle you have the 1 1/8 part. So that's a lot wider than 7/8, obviously. So you have to get the universal clamp mount. These bars were about $68, $69-ish. This is the CR high bend. These were about 35 bucks. So for $100, you could essentially go from the 7/8 to this bar, but also make sure that you get grips, make sure you get grip glue. We got the donuts for the grips, and with these donuts, we're just gonna slap those on there, make sure they look good. So let's look at what we have to take off before I do this whole process. Now hold on really quick, what I wanted to ask you guys is, once I finish the build series and that's it, I want to ask you guys, what type of vlogs would you like to see on my bike? I have a lot of ideas, but I want to know what you guys want to see. So if you don't mind, commenting in the section below and just saying what you guys want to see, that would really appreciate that, just because it helps me get an insight on what you guys actually want to see. So rather than me make videos that kind of bores people or people don't really care about the subject, I want to talk about different ideas, I want to talk about different bikes, things I learned in the riding community. And if you guys haven't subscribed, subscribe now. Essentially, I'm going to try to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know, very ambitious, but I think I could definitely hit it. And so comment, share, like, subscribe. I don't know if that's the right order that people say it in, but please let me know what you guys want to see. And yeah, thanks. So essentially, really quick, what is going to happen with this is we're going to cut off these grips. Let me see, we have to cut off some zip ties. The only thing that might be an issue with this, I think that I might have to relocate this. My ignition key, essentially, it's gonna look really weird with brand new bars that are different colors, and you just have this thing jetting out of it, you know, sitting on top and everything. So what I was thinking is that a lot of people like to put it over here. So what I might do is just relocate that from here to there, just put it on the side, make it look a little bit more clean. I have to take off the mirrors, the controls, the grips, the throttle tube. So it's gonna be really nice. Like just look at the difference. Look at these bars and look at these. My God, that's such a nice finish. Like it looks like I already Cerakoted these in this color called tungsten, but I don't really think a lot of people need help with installing something like this. Maybe you do. So essentially, all the things I said I'm gonna do here, I have to take off. I'll have time lapses of that. And if I've run into any weird issues, I'll make sure to record that as always. So let's get started on this. I wanna have these bars on. I wanna have this bike looking great because bars are kind of a really underrated thing about a bike. You know, a lot of people don't really think about that, but that's one of those details where when you get the bars right, dude, the bike looks awesome. It's just one of those things where it's like a nice final touch. And I mean, look at my bike, dude. Come on. You can't go wrong with that. So we're gonna get started on this, and let's cut to me taking this stuff off. So now that we have that all done, we took off the bars, and dude, look at this. Look at how nasty these bars were. I did not even think, you know, because they're kind of concealed, but wow, such a difference. So we have the bar mounts, universal bar mounts that will go on top of these. So essentially it'll look like that. Will go on top. Probably the first good step in the right direction. Just mount these. You know, I'm gonna be that guy for this video just because this is pretty straightforward, and I'm just gonna jump cut. So let's put these bar mounts on. I'll show you how that looks, and then we'll go into, after I get this stupid grip off, we'll go into the mounting process of the bars. So one thing I did notice in making this is that the throttle tube for the other one, stock throttle tube, absolutely sucks. You can't get this thing off essentially. So you're gonna have to buy a new one. If you buy an aluminum one, it's around like 20 or 30 bucks. I have a plastic one because that's all my local shop had. I don't really anticipate going down and having to fix something like this, especially if I get hand guards, which kind of I'm reconsidering now because it seems kind of unnecessary on a bike like this. You know, that's not really gonna hit dirt. So we have this throttle tube. The way this goes is you have a short cable and a long cable. Short cable, if you're looking at the throttle tube like this, short cable goes on the left and the long cable goes on the right. And then just make sure it can free flow on the bar. I just mounted my bars. You have the degrees, how much you want it turned towards you or away from you, essentially. And I think they're set up really nice. I like how they look. As I said before, this thing just looks awful with this right here. So I'm gonna reroute that on the other side. We're gonna shove that right on the side over here. Once we do that, we should be good. And yeah, let's get this throttle tube on, and then let's reinstall everything. One other thing is that there are two cables with this throttle tube that you have to install right there. See how this is oriented? Well, this is actually, the short one's gonna be the throttle cable, and then the other one's gonna be the return cable. The return cable goes all the way around because that's the long one, and then it should sit oriented like that. Just make sure to keep that in mind so you don't switch up these cables when reinstalling that. So I'm super pissed because as I was putting on the grips of one of them, the other one just so happened to not have a hole in it at all. Basically what happens is that if you don't have a hole at the end of your bars, or you know, no hole at the end of the grip, it's gonna create an air bubble in it. And when that air bubble gets to the end, well, it popped a hole in my grip. So I had to toss that. Now we have the Pro Taper Synergy. So I'm, you know, pretty pissed because I just want to get this done. But so let's get these bars done and start assembling it. Alright guys, so we have this thing all buttoned up. I think the handlebars look great, man. They're all dialed, they got the donuts at the end. Grips, I actually like how this played out because these grips are sweet, dude. The Pro Taper Synergy. What ended up happening with my grips is that if you put some little bit of soapy water on the end of the grips, you shouldn't have the issue with this one as much, but with this one it's very tough. That should help you just pretty much just put this grip on, and the water and everything evaporates instead of putting like a lubricant on, because that's just kind of counterintuitive. What happened with my ignition was it actually wouldn't fit on the right side because the light shroud would get in its way. So I've seen people in videos, what they do is they chop this thing down, and I didn't really want to do that yet. So I don't know if you'll call this ugly or not, whatever you want to call it, but this is what works for me right now, having the ignition switch here. And I've ridden it a few times because that's the best way to get a real life example, if you will, of just how, you know, the functionality of something. And so this setup right here is how I run it right now, and it's worked out really well. So if you guys enjoyed this video, man, please give me a like, share, subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Coming up next, man, we're just gonna have videos of me riding this Supermoto. Really want to get a really cinematic look of me on this bike. I think it will turn out really great, so stay tuned for that. Till next time, guys, have a great day and ride safe.